Like that side of my face.
Mm.
That's my good side, I think.
Nice.
Oh man. All right, we're short Dan today, but he's just running late. So he must be a hard worker.
Well, we're normally
He's a hard
short
worker, or
Dan,
he
but
gets
we
up.
also normally wait on him. This time we just didn't wait.
Yeah, yeah. He's either a really hard worker or he just needs to get up earlier. I don't know.
Something.
Sorry, Dan. We love you. Okay. Hydrate. Gotta hydrate.
I'm tired this
Oh
evening,
man,
man. I had a massage just a couple hours ago, and man, it put me into sleep mode.
dude. Wait a minute. You had a massage yesterday too.
No, I had a massage Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Okay, Sunday and Tuesday. Well, that's still pretty nice. I
Yeah,
had no massage
man.
either day.
Today, during the massage, I felt
Uh
myself.
huh.
Um, I don't know. It kind of like going into dream mode, where it's like you're there, but you're not. It was
Oh,
really really weird.
is it like when you're driving a car and all of a sudden you're like, "Daggum, I know I wasn't asleep, but I don't remember the last like 5 or 10 miles."
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and you already don't, you can't keep track of time. You don't know how long you're in there. It's dark. You got your head buried,
Mm-hmm.
and man, I don't even know. Like, I don't know if I did fall asleep. I don't know. Like, I don't think I did, but I was just in this weird, like, out of body feeling. It was super strange.
Mm. I I didn't have any of that today. I could
No.
probably use a massage though. I was on an old skid loader for the entire afternoon,
Mm.
and so uh, it's kind of funny. I'm getting used to running a new Bobcat with tracks, which is one of the nicest machines you can run, I think. Like it's new, so it has all the best. I mean, they don't have suspension really, but they're starting to kind of have a little bit of like some sort of torsion system. And then when you put tracks on it, that makes a huge difference because it just, I mean, you can run over stuff and those tracks absorb a decent amount.
Right.
um, and also like you can run over a hole or a like ditch and the tracks span it so you
Right.
don't end up with a
Yes.
big jolt like a wheel dropping in.
Hmm.
Uh, so I'm getting used to that, and then I jump in this old one, which I mean it's a perfectly capable skidder. It's just H control only, in 2 hands and foot controls for the bucket, which um that always not always, but the more I run the Bobcat, which is joystick control, the more I run that, then I'm noticing I'll get in one or the other and do the wrong thing. Like I got in the Bobcat yesterday and went too full forward, which isn't how it works. So I started to go forward and the bucket started, jamming
Digging
into the
in.
dirt.
Yeah.
But and then today, I jump on the old one and go full forward with my right because that's what you do and just start turning. But
That's funny.
you catch yourself and it rectifies pretty quick. But anyway, it's a bumpy ride and dusty. Man,
It's not a
I was
closed cab.
covered. No, it is not. And I was running across a cornfield, and I was just running back and forth, just working on hauling off debris and stuff into a ravine. And so a little bit, I'm getting dust off the bucket coming back at me, and a lot, I'm just pulverizing that dirt going back and forth across the cornfield. So it's just so fine, and it just kicks up immediately. Just my eyes feel full right
Man,
now.
I haven't run a wheeler skidder in a while. Like that's what I grew
Yeah.
up running. Old Bobcats with the wheels. No
Mm-hmm.
closed cab, just the cage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm
you just
spoiled most of the time with the nice Bobcat, but then I get to
yeah.
reality check on that one.
I bet I haven't run a wheeler in it would have been late 90s last time I was in one.
Nice. Were those track ones that used to rent doing the landscaping
Oh,
stuff now and again?
I don't remember.
Might have been,
Might have been,
because
might not have been.
working in yards, they're a little more forgiving,
Sure.
going over curbs and things.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't either.
Because we did rent those a couple of times.
That would have been in the what, around
Yeah, that would have been early
05,
2000s.
07,
Yeah. And
somewhere in
I
there.
I think I ran them most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. So maybe it's possible that it's been sooner than what I said. If one of those was a wheeler.
It's been a while though. That's still 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man. Here we go. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm
You gonna do
still.
the pour? You gonna show us how to pour?
Oh heck yeah. Here we go.
A little
The-
a little little Guinness tutorial.
Okay. I just heard the ball pop open. All right, here we go. Guinness pour.
Look at
It
that.
looks like a good espresso shot with those bubbles
It
rolling
sure
down.
does.
Look at that.
Real nice.
That's gonna be nice and creamy. Um, man, I, I bought these Guinness beers a couple weeks, well, right there at St. Patty's Day,
Uh-huh.
and I got this one, which is the regular old Guinness draft stout. And then I bought that one that was the extra stout, and I have mixed feelings because the creaminess of the straight up regular old Guinness is amazing. I
Yep.
love it.
Mm-hmm.
But the caramely flavor of that extra stout one, it's so good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I like the flavor of the extra stout. If you could put this like super creamy foam on that extra stout, it
Well,
would be
it's
it
the
might be the
extra stout's
perfect
not a
beer.
nitro and it's not in a can.
I know. Maybe they make it.
Maybe they do.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Mm-hmm. Might be worth
You
finding.
know, I have a computer right here next to me. I could
You
probably
do?
know pretty shortly. Yeah. All right. Do they make Guinness Oh, what do we got caps lock on here for? I have a kid, that's why. Guinness Extra Stout Nitro can. Guinness Extra Stout. I don't know. It's looking kind of looks like they only do the extra stout in a bottle.
Weird.
Wants know my birthday. Don't want to join their mailing list.
I bet I opened up a daggum 100 of them Guinness regulars the other day.
Man, I do not see extra stout. Not in a bottle.
Well, maybe we need to suggest it to them.
Yeah, I would.
Tell them.
I'll tell them next time I'm talking to them.
We'll tell them we have a podcast and we're talking about it and we kind of want to do something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, I don't think that. I wonder if you can get it. I wonder if you can get extra stout on tap.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Because then it would probably be just right.
Mm-hmm. Well, Google might know the answer to that.
All right. Well, let's see here.
Because I don't.
Can you get Guinness Extra Stout? Daggum. What the heck? All right. Can you get Guinness Extra Stout on draft? Can you get Guinness Extra Stout on tap? Oh, frequently asked questions. Nah. How to get Guinness on tap? Guinness Original Extra Stout review. Yeah, I don't think you can.
It's a bottle only thing, maybe.
Seems like it.
Weird.
Oh. Oh, man. According to the internet, Total Wine has Guinness Extra Stout in a can.
All right. We might have to go try
it. Yep. I don't usually do Total Wine, but if they've got something that I can't find somewhere else, well, I'm gonna probably go there.
Probably. Me too.
I guess I could look up Bubbles, try them. Huh. I never double checked to see if we were running on YouTube, if we made it live. Oh yeah, I think we are. Yeah, we are. We've been live on YouTube for almost 15 minutes. Zero views. If
No
you can
way.
believe it. Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it.
that many. Anyway. Oh. Anyway. All right. I started to ask you, what are you drinking?
Oh, it's Odell Brewing,
It's not
and
Tito's.
it's what?
It's not Tito's.
It's no, it's I'd rather be drinking Tito's.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Um, IPA. Uh, got a guy riding an elephant on it.
Hmm. That's probably the India part of it.
Yeah, could be.
I think they ride elephants over there, don't they?
In India, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they either ride them or they get killed by them.
Yeah. Oh man. I read I read it's it sucked me in just like it's supposed to.
It
But it
did
was
his
this
job.
story. Uh-huh. It was this story yesterday, and it was uh the story of this guy who was out in the jungle, and he was hiking along on a trail, and he came around a bend and comes face to face with like a pretty good sized bull elephant. And the thing is standing there, and it's got its one foot held up in the air, and it's kind of just like it's he can tell something's up with it, something's wrong. So against his better judgment, he slowly like approaches this elephant because it's in the wild. Approaches this elephant and looks, and it's got like a massive like stick or something jammed up in the bottom of its foot. So he gets down there on his knees and gingerly messes with this thing and pulls that stick out. And the elephant just kind of like hangs there for a second, kind of looking at him, and then wanders off into the jungle. And he's like, daggum, that was freaking crazy. Anyway, so he goes for years, and he's somewhere else, and he's at the zoo, and he's walking past the elephant enclosure, and there's this big old bull elephant in there, and the thing is like looking right at him, like following him with this gaze. And he's like, whoa, that elephant's awesome. And the elephant sits there and like picks its front foot up, and then like kind of sets it down, picks it back up, and it's like looking directly at this guy the whole time. And he's like, is there a chance that's the same freaking elephant that I helped in the jungle that one time? And the thing just like keeps staring at him and does that a couple more times, like just like picks its foot up off the ground. So, dude, it's like, I gotta know. So he climbs into the enclosure and goes up to that elephant, and the thing tramples him to death. It wasn't the same elephant.
It's a good story. Bummer. Oh my.
Yep.
Well, how do we know it wasn't the same elephant?
Must not have been.
It just must not have been. Because the same elephant would not have done that.
No, yeah.
That's funny.
The story was something like, this is for all of you people who click into these inspirational stories on the internet.
Oh goodness. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I read it.
I like it.
What'd you work on today?
I made a wall. I turned a garage door opening into a wall with a window in it.
Oh yeah, sweet. Working on that remodel.
Yeah. So let's see here. I probably have a picture of it. Don't know how well.
Nice.
So it used to be a garage door. Sweet. Now it's
is that electrical box there is going to have a light out there?
Correct.
Nice.
Yeah, it was there before, and they wanted to leave it there. So yeah, it's 4 panels, 4x9, or 3 panels. Sorry, 3 4x9 panels with a 48x60 window.
Nice.
I don't. Maybe you would have a better idea than what I came up with. So obviously the garage door has that little recessed in the concrete notch from the floor of the garage to the exterior of the garage.
Yeah.
Well, what I did was I just double green plated the bottom. And then ran the siding all the way down and kept it about a 1/2 inch shy of the ground. I mean, obviously that stuff's not supposed to be that close to the ground. Oh, and I flashed the double plate down.
Yeah.
Put a little flashing on there, little not metal, but some kind of sticky flashing stuff for that, just that bottom 6 inches or whatever it is.
That ought to do.
I mean,
it's also sloped out, right? Like a regular old garage.
Yeah.
I mean, until somebody ends up like throwing dirt up against it someday, it should be fine.
They shouldn't, because it's concrete.
It's concrete out in front of it and all. Yeah.
So to get a little splashback is what my only thought was.
Probably just make sure and get good. Are you painting it?
No.
Or like you're having? Are they the homeowner painting it?
It needs a really good coat of paint down there.
I'd say, yeah. Just for a little extra protection.
I thought about even just like running a bead of caulking along there on that bottom edge, just kind of to seal up the raw edge of the smartboard.
Oh yeah. Is it raw down on that bottom side, or
well, some of it is, because I had to scribe it to the uneven concrete.
Oh.
So at the one side, it just kind of turns up about a 1/2 inch for maybe 2-3 feet. But I put the factory edge down where I could, where it wasn't, where it was straight.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fine. That stuff, the adhesives that they laminate that stuff with is really good.
Right.
Like it's not.
I don't think it would be a manufacturer recommended application.
No, maybe not, but it's still like pretty darn good.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I ended up doing, and I think it'll be fine, especially for a long time.
Yeah.
And then on the inside, I have about 4 inches of that groove, that recess. So I'm just going to fill it with
plywood.
Some kind of, well, I don't know. I was thinking about just getting some like self-leveling concrete and throw it in there.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because they're putting carpet down.
Mm-hmm.
and it's all concrete in there. So figure I might mix some of that up and just pour it in there and call it good.
Will that stuff hold up to a tack strip being nailed into it, or when they nail it, will it crack, like break?
I don't know.
You say it's 4 inches deep, like, okay. I mean, that's a decent amount.
Yeah.
That should be enough to not just crumble up if you
Right.
throw a teeny tiny little concrete nail into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully it'll hold up. But anyway, that's what I did today. Got the board and the trim and the window and all that stuff set and up and nailed in and caulked in and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
And then got a massage.
Even nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Got
Yeah, I
drywall
just hauled off.
Monday.
What?
Got drywall coming on Monday.
Oh man.
So yep.
So you got electrical this week and insulation.
Yep. And it's minor electrical. It's just I don't know, 5 or 6 outlets and then one light and only, I don't know, a couple of half walls of insulation, half high hall walls and one full.
Mm-hmm.
So not even a lot of that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I hauled dirt. That's about it.
That's fun.
This property had a old barn on it. And it got burned down by an arson, which they caught. Turns out he had burned, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. He confessed. But anyway, apparently when somebody burns down your stuff on your property, the city starts sending you letters and threatening to fine you for having rubble and debris on your property. So we've been pushing it off a long time and had to get it done.
That's dumb.
it feels obviously if your neighbor had a big old rubble pile that was just a mess and blowing into your yard or whatever, which it's not, but I guess you'd be happy for the city to make them clean it up. I guess. I don't know. But whenever it's not your fault that you have a mess on your place and then the city's on you to get rid of it, then it feels like not right.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it's only because it's visible.
Well, it's only because it's kind of only because the
Is it in
so
city limits?
well, it's Wyandotte County. So Wyandotte
Oh,
County Unified
yeah,
Government it's the
right.
city of Wyandotte County.
Yep, which is
So
weird.
it's not. There's houses across the street from it, but it's on like 60 acres. It's a 60-acre chunk of farm field. But so what happened that made it an issue is when the thing burned down, the fire department came and the fire department automatically, files a report. And also, if there's a structure fire, they confirm with the utility companies, which in Wyandotte County is Wyandotte County. Like the utility company is owned by the unified government. And so all of a sudden everyone knows, you know. And so you can't really fly under the radar if the fire department comes in Wyandotte County, because it gets reported to everyone.
Well, Wyandotte County is such a clean county. Everything's just so nice over there.
That's what we said. We're like, I mean, what about, 45% of the rest of Wyandotte County, their yards and things? And Guy said, well, we got letters out to all of them.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we'll get her cleaned up.
It's funny.
Yep. I said to him, because we had a guy come out and do some cleanup. Like they hauled off the metal and the majority of the debris. But then they just pushed the rest of the debris into a pile. And I was like, so I can't have a pile of rock on my property? Like I can't have a dirt pile on my farm field? And he was like, well, no, not when there's debris in it. I'm like, come on. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
Should just
I don't think.
put dirt over the top of it. Say now it's a dirt pile.
I said, I don't think you are sorry.
Yeah, that's just some government nonsense.
It is. It's just bureaucratic stuff. It just happens. So
well, now that Trump's president, he'll probably fix all that stuff.
I don't know if Wyandotte County is going to be first on the list of compliant government offices.
True. Oh, Wyandotte County.
Huh?
Oh, Wyandotte County, the old crime dot.
Yep. It's quite an interesting place.
I'll tell you what, they got some good barbecue over there.
Oh, man. I ate some today.
Which one do you have?
Wyandotte County barbecue. Or Wyandotte barbecue.
Wyandotte Barn? Yeah.
Yeah. I had a half a slab of ribs and a beef sandwich.
I was at Hy-Vee in Liberty on, I don't know, maybe Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a whole bunch of vendors there doing samples.
Yeah.
And Slaps guy was there.
The guy, Joe?
No, it wasn't Joe. It was I forget the guy's name.
Just somebody from Slaps.
Yeah. And they were sampling their sauces. And so I was trying them. They had some pulled pork and they were dipping, putting the sauce in and I was eating it. And I was like, man, when are you guys going to get a Northland location so I don't have to drive to Wyandotte County? He was like, well, we're working on it. He goes, I mean, we're trying, but it's like we want to keep our roots. Sure. So we got to find the right spot. I was like, well, you need to hurry up. He's like, I know.
They got to be careful too, man. I hate it whenever a place like that, well, plenty of places do it, but recent recollection is Mudhole Barbecue in Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a great thing going on.
Yep.
At that little hole in the wall place down across the street from Cody's.
Yep.
And they sold out like every day. And then they opened this really big, fancy-ish restaurant over in Gladstone, and and went belly up, like
Well, the
pretty quick.
same thing happened to jousting pigs.
Oh, did they open another spot?
So they had that spot with Three Halves Brewing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was great. And then they decided they wanted to venture out to another store, and so they moved into the old Arthur Bryant's building at Legends,
Oh.
which is a real fancy building, and I'm sure very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they're gone.
Yeah, completely.
So we don't want
Yep.
that to happen to Slaps. I would
No.
rather just keep on driving over to Wyandotte County
Yep.
and it be there than for them to buy some big fancy building like Cheddar's and go, we're going to have a
Mm-hmm.
fancy big old barbecue restaurant in there. And then it just bankrupts them.
Yep. Can't do that. You know what probably wouldn't be as expensive of a place to put it as Cheddar's is the old hardware store.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
It's pretty it's pretty crusty already.
Yeah, and I don't think it has a kitchen.
No, but that's okay. They
It's
don't
fine.
need much of a kitchen. They need a smoker.
That's true. Q39 was right next to Slaps, and they were doing the same thing.
Uh-huh.
So I first went to Slaps, and then I left Slaps and walked like 4 feet over to Q39.
Yeah.
And so then those guys are talking to me, and they're like, "Which one's better?" And I was like, "Oh, Slaps." And they were like, "Whoa, why do you say that?" And I was like, "I just like it better. Like I don't know." They're like, "Well, are we number two?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "No." I said, if I had to vote, it would be Slaps, Joe's, and then you." He's like, "All right." He's like, "Well, why not us number one?" I was like, "Well, couple reasons. One, I don't like fancy barbecue, and you guys are fancy barbecue." I said, "The food is really good. I like it a lot, but I want to walk up to a dirty old counter and order some food and go sit on a picnic table in a tent and eat my barbecue." And he was like, "All right, all right." I thought it was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Yeah.
"Now, when my friends come into town and they like to be fancy, I'll take them to Q39." I said, "But I take most people to Slaps."
Mm-hmm. I I've only eaten at Q39 twice, I think. And the first time it was almost I'm probably not ever going to come back
Really?
experience. Yeah. And the second time was much better, but that first time, and the thing was, it wasn't because of the food.
Hmm.
It was it was because of the fanciness, kind of. So I'll try to remember everything that happened because
Was it the
it
original 39th location?
Q39, yes. Uh, okay. So it was me and Anna, and we walked in there. It was really nice out, and they said, um, okay, we'll follow us, and we'll take you to your seat. And we said, can we sit on the patio? And the person was like, well, Those tables all seat 4, and there's only 2 of you, and we're probably going to get really busy and we're going to need all of our seating. So we try not to, we don't really seat 2 people at 4 top tables.
All right.
And we're just like, all right, whatever. So we go and we sit down. And the entire time we were there, that place did not fill up. Like they 100% could have seated us at a table for 6 and it wouldn't have hurt their business. It wouldn't have changed their wait time, nothing. So that was a little frustrating right off the bat.
Yeah, but
Like
they didn't know that when you got there, Darcy.
They didn't. And they were just looking out for themselves.
Right.
Okay, so that's maybe what is turning me off a little bit already.
I can see that.
So then we sit down and our waitress comes out and she's brand new. And so like generally I'm going to be pretty darn patient with somebody who's new. Like I don't mind somebody like figuring things out, but she was not good at figuring things out.
Mm.
And also, so same type of deal. We sit down. She has no idea what beers they have on tap. Every time I ask her about something, she doesn't know, and she's gonna have to go ask somebody. Like I, I can't remember if I finally went over and just stood at the bar and looked at the tap handles. She had this little card with things scribbled on it, with like a list of beers scribbled on it, but I couldn't read it and neither could she, because she didn't, like, she had written it but she didn't know what any of them were.
Oh no.
So it was like hard to read, and since she had no idea what any of it was, she couldn't like see and be like, oh yeah, that was whatever.
Bummer.
So that was frustrating. Then we ordered 2 things. Um, or we tried to order 2 things. We tried to order uh we I think we probably ordered our appetizer and meal at the same time. Must be how it went. We tried to order the appetizer that had like the sampler, so it would have had burnt ends on it and I don't know what all, but I know that it had burnt ends on this sampler. And then, yeah, I think it seems like we must have ordered our meal at the same time, and Anna maybe ordered a burnt end sandwich, something like that. So she takes our order, she goes away, she comes back and she says, um, we're not really doing the burnt ends except on the burnt end platter right now because we don't want to run out. And we're
Once
like,
again, they're planning for someone who's not there.
they're planning for someone who's more important than us, is what it felt like.
Those burnt ends are for the customers.
Yeah. So we ordered something else. And we just were like, well, this is a bust.
Yeah, no
And
kidding.
we left there thinking, I don't, I probably don't care if we ever come back here.
No kidding.
It was just a super not great. Like there wasn't anything specifically bad. No one was like The food that we had was totally fine. The people were nice,
Yeah.
but it was just like, seriously. And like I said, when we left, the place was still basically empty. Like we were
Dumb.
in and out long before the evening rush. And because we went there early because we were headed to see a movie. So we were in before like dinner time. But they didn't want to didn't really want to be bothered. It was so weird.
That reminds me of a story. Jeremy, Heath, and I were on the North Shore. Well, no, we were in the Boundary Waters. And we had just spent like 3 or 4 days or whatever it was in the Boundary Waters.
Yep.
And we were tired, and we haven't eaten like real food in days. And we're heading down to, we'd rented a cabin. And we're driving down the road on the north shore of Lake Superior, and there is a sign after sign talking about this pie place. You know, it's like 20 miles ahead, 10 miles ahead, 5 miles ahead, and 5 miles ahead, Oh boy.
What happened?
I can hear myself twice.
Okay, just a second.
Speaker off or something.
Check.
Oh, I know what it is. How about that?
Check 1, 2. Oh yeah, that's good.
That it? Okay, now I'm
So
hearing you.
driving down.
Headphones?
Do what?
You got some new headphones?
They're loaners.
Oh.
Our sound guy at church loaned them to me. They're kind of cool. I don't know what brand they are, but they sound pretty good. I don't know. Is that a recognizable brand to you?
I can't see it.
Well, if you turned it a little further,
Oh, wow.
Now it's
I don't know.
now
I can't make it out.
Because it
Glaring. I can't tell.
Well, I'll tell you the cool thing about them.
Okay.
You pull this wire, and on this side is a large jack, like you'd put your guitar, and on this side is a small. So you can invert the wire and plug it into like a. Does that make sense?
Yep, that's nice.
So they're just kind of, so I can use them with my amp, and I can practice, and nobody in the house hears it except for they do hear the acoustic guitar.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I can sing in the mic, and I can, for the most part, I can hear what is going on with my sound mix. Yeah. So what did I miss? What did I miss?
Jimmy's telling a story.
All right.
Oh, so we're seeing all these signs for this pie place, and we're like, boy, that sounds pretty good. So we pull in, and we walk up to the thing, and we're thinking we're just going to get an entire pie, and we're going to take it back on the road to the cabin, and we're going to eat it. So we walk in there, and there's like a pie display case, right?
Yep.
And lady comes over, and she says, "Can I help you?" And we're like, "Yeah, we'd like to get that pie right there. It's an apple pie." And she's like, "Oh, those pies are for the customers."
Wait.
And we were like, well,
wait. Were you on a trip?
Yeah.
And you just went to a pie place?
Yeah.
Or a restaurant? A pie place?
It's a pie place. And
why'd they let you in?
Well, I don't know.
I don't understand.
Okay,
go ahead.
We just want to buy the entire pie. And she's like, "No, those are for the customers." We're like, what do you mean? Well, for the people sitting over here, if they want to buy a slice of pie. We're like, but we want to buy the entire pie.
I want to buy 5 slices of pie. That's a pie. That's.
And she's like, nope, these pies are for the customers. Sorry. We were like,
how do you become a customer?
okay, I guess we'll leave without pie.
Do you have an application?
How do you become a customer? I'm so confused.
I don't know. So that's been the joke forever now. Like anytime we go anywhere, we're like, oh, those pies are for the customers, or whatever it may be. You know, it's like, oh, well, those drinks are for the customers, not for us.
Yeah.
You do know that your story is like there's a dude who wrote an entire book on the same story, right?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a guy who wrote a business book, and I forget what his actual business is, but in this case, it's his book is the business, and it's something like you could look it up. I could look it up. I'm gonna get the exact name of it wrong. It's like the $30,000 egg or the $10,000 egg or something like that. Okay, and what happened is they went into a restaurant and they sat down and they were like, the special of the day or something at this place was like this something with eggs in it or something like that, and they told him about the special and he was like, well, that sounds interesting, but you know what I think I'd really like is I'd like this burger, this burger, but with that same egg Benedict on it, the burger or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. And the waitress was like, I don't think we can do that. And he's like, what? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, I think that we just have enough. Like, I'm gonna have to check with the manager. And he's like, that makes no sense. Like, like, okay. So she goes and gets the manager. The manager comes out and he's like, I'm sorry, we can't make an egg for you. And he's like, why can't you make an egg for me? He's like, well, we don't normally have a bunch of eggs, but we have exactly the number of eggs for this special. Like the eggs, we bought the eggs and all of the ingredients for this special, and that's all of the eggs we have. And he's just like baffled by it. And then he writes this book about like, basically it's like the customer's always right. Like whatever you're doing, you might be like chasing off a lifelong customer. He's like, because we didn't buy anything. We just left and we went down the street and we've been going to that restaurant ever since. Mm-hmm. Because they like, he's like, I'd have paid $10 for the egg at that point. And they just were like, no.
Yeah, it's funny because I have been to the North Shore of Lake Superior so many times since that trip. And I've driven by that pie place. And I will never go in there again.
Why would you?
Yeah.
I still don't like, it was a pie place. You wanted the pie.
Yeah. There are billboards. It's like 20 miles ahead, 10 miles ahead, 5 miles ahead. Your next right. We're like,
we gotta go.
We're getting that pie.
Yeah. Did you look it up, Darcy?
I'm trying to.
Back in the day when I worked with Bill, we would go to Wendy's for lunch occasionally, and he'd walk up to the counter and he'll like, I'll have a chili burger. And they were like, we don't have chili burgers here. And he's like, really? He's like, do you have chili? And they were like, yeah. Do you have hamburgers? Yeah. He's like, okay, then make me a chili burger. They're like, we don't do that here. And he was like, well, then give me a hamburger and give me some chili. Okay, we can do that.
Yeah. The $10,000 egg. That's what it's called.
Weird.
No, it says that.
I should write a book and call it the $10,000 pie.
Yeah, you should, because evidently it's not a. Man. You know, sometimes ChatGPT is really smart and sometimes kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't even know who the president is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I'll think of it and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
It'll come to me. And maybe it was just a blog post or something by the guy. I don't know. Did we talk about the thing that both Darcy and I saw about the fudge place? Like we saw different.
No,
we did not. We didn't talk about that on here. It's kind of like your pie story.
Place, probably.
So there's a place called, like, it's like the name of the business is on a gas station.
Just
it's like
it, Dan. Just say it.
The fudge packed in Uranus or something like that.
Uranus Chocolate Factory.
Uranus Fudge Factory.
Yeah,
and it's like a Vegas looking building, but inside is like a kind of a not great gas station fudge store.
Did you go?
No, but I've looked in the door and we've driven by it a couple times. Yeah. And we just laughed about it from the parking lot. The one time it was late and it was closed, but I'd have walked in there that
really
time.
Late.
Yeah. But
it's in Uranus, Missouri, right?
It's in St. Robert.
I thought it was in town Uranus or something.
No, it's like out of this world fudge, you know. So both of us saw different influencers online in the same week, and the place looks like the inside of it now, or at least the one those people were in, looks like a
Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory.
It's like a theme park of a fudge place.
Right.
And like all of the shirts and everything are all off-color fudge packer jokes and stuff like that. And like the actual people who work there aren't baristas, they're fudge packers. Like that's their job title is fudge packers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
way to go, guys. Stroud's, their t-shirts say we choke our own chickens.
Oh, wow. I don't know what Stroud's is. Is that a restaurant?
Yeah.
I maybe
it's
just
a
haven't
chicken
been
place up in the Northland.
Wow. That's good to know. That's really good to know. So I've had you want to hear about my day?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got a text from my concrete guy. Hey, is that the digger said that place is ready to go. Do you have the footer load? And I want to say something about concrete guys, and the confusion about building is kind of irritating because like they put at the very bottom of their like bid, their estimate, that the builder or homeowner provides the reinforcing. Most people aren't even going to know what that means. But what they mean is they're not providing the rebar. You have to source the rebar yourself. They provide all the ties, they provide the forms, they provide the concrete, everything, but not the rebar? Like, are you going to pour it without rebar? Like, I don't understand so then, of course, even though I've built multiple houses, every time I forget, and I'm like, dang it. That's a couple grand worth of rebar going into a foundation. It's annoying. But anyway, so I digress. They asked, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to drive up there and make sure the road is ready to go. I drove up, and about 200 feet into my driveway, dude, my truck, which is like a featherweight truck, it's like a 1500. It was making 5-inch ruts in the driveway.
Dang.
Yeah. For about 50 feet. And there's like standing water in that area. And the guys who dug my drive, or dug the drive and dug the foundation, they had already pulled a bunch of like sludgy, like swampy black dirt out of the hole and traded that for clay that was dug out of the foundation hole. So like they already did that, and it was still not good at all. So I talked to Darcy because he was recently involved in a big old driveway going in, and I called the guy that he had suggested, although it wasn't. I don't think it was the guy. It wasn't the guy you guys used.
No.
And anyway, I ended up lining up my neighbor who's right next to the dumpster place, Willie's, who's used to be a part owner in Willie's, and they're bringing in like massive rock, like bouldery kind of rock to put in this area, dig it out with an actual dozer, and then or a loader, and fill it in and fix it. And now I just kind of wish that I had talked to them right off the bat, because they've been pulling tons of rock out of builds that they're hauling for.
Are they going to scoop what you currently have? They're going to scoop all the 3-inch.
They're going to
put it in a pile.
I think they're going to try to
6-inch.
Scrape the pile and just leave it on the driveway over farther. They'll probably have to move the clay off and then lay 6-inch and maybe even bigger than 6-inch, depending on, because I mean they've got freaking. They said they've got like something like 700 loads of rock they've hauled to 1 mile away from me.
Is it rock or chunked up concrete?
Both. They have like those limestones that you see them they've broken out where a foundation is that go from like 6-inch to like
24-inch,
300 pounders probably. Yeah, but still like 6-inch slabs. They've got a bunch of that, and then they have a bunch of concrete that's broken up into like 3-inch, 2 to 3-inch, and then they've got a bunch of concrete that they're going to eventually break into the recycled concrete gravel. Mm-hmm. And he said that they would be able to haul some of that whenever they got their crusher, because they have a lot of that now up on that lot, a lot of it on the lot. But pretty annoying day, actually.
Once you get a good base in, though, you should really check into getting the asphalt millings.
They have a bunch of that too.
They do?
Yeah. They have piles of it.
I know you're not over at Jeremy's house very often, but he got asphalt millings and put them in between his house and his barn, and just driving over it, it like almost turns it back into asphalt.
Well,
it's a pretty decent driveway.
I was reading up on that a little bit. He does have the advantage of having a pretty stinking big bobcat to track it in with when he lays it. And it does, like everything that I've read says that if you want it to go like that, you do need to get it tight and then drive it in. Like you need to get it laid in pretty tight, because it doesn't have, it takes a long time for the heat of the sun to like start to kind of mold it back together, because it doesn't have the added tar like if you were running fresh asphalt.
Right.
And he has that. So it that might be the eventual, but I think that mine needs some time to get settled, because that stuff doesn't really create a it'd just keep pushing into the mud. If you just dumped that stuff in my driveway, it would just keep going into the mud right now.
No, yeah, you have to have a solid base.
Yeah.
Before you put asphalt millings on it.
How long is your driveway?
The new one's 600 or 700 feet. Quite a ways. But I mean, thing is, like, so I think I spent $16 or $17 getting my foundation dug and getting 500 ton of that 3-inch stuff put in. They're bringing in 5 more loads of rock and doing a day worth of loader work.
Another 100 tons?
Oh, I'd say that's... I don't know what size truck they're bringing, but I'd imagine it's at least a 27-ton truck.
Okay.
So that'd be more like 100... What would that be? 150 or more? Like, let's just say hypothetically it's 150 more ton for like under 3,000. So it's just live and you learn. Like, I probably should have like been more proactive when they started doing it and tried to get, because they also just do trucking. So if I'd known that they would do it, they might have just brought me that stuff from their location while my guy was backfilling, or while my guy was digging the driveway in, and I'd have a freaking tank of a driveway for less money right now already. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, those guys are getting paid trucking to haul that stuff away from Loch Lloyd. And they're kind of taking it up to their lot and sort of sorting it a little bit. But they could just as easily just bring it and dump it in a trench you're digging and be done, and be done with it. Or their equipment is heavier. They might have been cheaper. All told, they might have been cheaper having them put the driveway in and have my foundation guys dig just the foundation, because they'd have probably brought in their dozer loader and dug a trench that would hold a bunch of bigger stuff and done it. But I don't know. If you wait around till you know everything about something to start, you don't always start things.
Well, you'll know next time not to do what you did this time. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, last time everything went so flawlessly, and I wasn't even around for it.
Well, things always go better when you're not around because you don't know.
I actually think they do. I think you're right about that. But the last time they put in clean 3 and 4 inch stone for the base of the driveway, so that's what I was expecting them to be dumping in my driveway this time. But everything that I read says that what they put in is the right base for a driveway. So I don't even know what to think at this point. But yeah.
When do you start framing?
I bet it's going to be at least 3 or 4 weeks before I can frame it, because they gotta, even if they got the forms in by a week from now, they probably need at least 20 days of curing before they'd want to backfill it, I would think.
Are you doing a basement?
I wasn't planning on it, but
that's what I thought. Is it going to be a full basement or is it just partial?
What do you consider a full basement to be? Is my basement a full basement?
Yeah.
It's going to be under the whole living quarter. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Everybody's happy with it. And like right now I benefit from having a basement. Like, I have all this space down here to office it up if I need to. But I think that we could have gotten a lot more footage of house with no basement, though.
Yeah. For the same price, you mean?
We'd have just had to live on a slab on the first floor, and nobody seems to want to do that. So
Because of tornadoes?
it's both, and it's tornadoes, and it's just living on concrete isn't my wife's favorite. I mean, what's interesting about that is like there's a lot of people, if you talk to them, that are like, "Oh, I would never want to live on a concrete, floor as my main floor." But if you go to Texas, like
there's no basements.
There's no basements. Like
Yeah.
9 out of 9 people are living on a slab in Texas, and there's a heck of a lot of people down there. Like probably 95 out of 100 houses have no basement and no crawl space. It's just first floor, slab foundation.
Heath's house up in Wisconsin is that way. It's just a
slab.
One level slab, radiant floor.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
And the thing is, like, does it have wood floors on the slab, or is it just concrete on the, like, stained concrete or something? Tile? Yeah, like, convince somebody who's decided that living on concrete is like living in a third world, that it's not. Good luck.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what to say about it.
Ain't no squeaks in concrete.
No. And I would say that despite the fact that like a concrete floor would be cold without radiant floor heating, it's pretty comfy with. Like probably more of a warm floor situation than like living on a wood floor.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Even the showers have the radiant floor in them. So you step in the shower and the floor is all
That's
warm.
pretty nice. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm debating running the piping for radiant in the garage because my understanding is that radiant floor is way cheaper to run in like a shop, and like if you're running a wood stove or heater and you open up your garage doors, all that cold air rushes in. It takes a long time to get your space warmed back up. But with a radiant floor, cooling off the space by opening the garage doors, just like there's so much thermal mass in the floor that's heated up that it just brings the room back to temperature like real quick. That is my kind of layman's term understanding of that.
Jeremy's house in Alaska has radiant floor heat. Mm-hmm. And he's up there right now and it's cold. So when he got there, it was like 50 degrees in the house. Mm-hmm. So he bumped the thermostat up to whatever, 70. And he said that sucker ran for like 5 hours and it was still like 52 degrees in the house.
Yeah, that's the thing. With a radiant floor, you gotta get that floor to hold
right.
Probably 74, 75 degrees all the time, or good luck getting I mean, a big house might have 30 yards of concrete in the floor. You got to heat 30 yards of concrete to 70 degrees before the house will move to 70.
Start warming.
Yeah. Right. Once you get it there, the flywheel is going. But yeah, is that what he runs? He runs the radiant floor at 50 to keep it, like, is that how the system is set up? To keep it going?
He's not there, yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically like almost like a water heater, just holding 50 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, it has I guess is it kerosene powered boiler system.
So heating oil, kerosene is the same, right? Heating oil and kerosene.
I think so. And then it also has a pellet stove that is hooked into the boiler system. So you can run it either way.
Okay. The boiler is inside though with the pellet stove, or is it an outdoor pellet
Pellet
deal?
is indoors.
Huh. Okay.
Right next to the boiler.
Does it also have another heating system, or is that the heating system? Because I'm assuming it doesn't have AC.
Correct. Those are the two only heat sources other than a stove, wood burning stove in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool.
yeah, no AC.
Yeah, because there's probably very few days in the summer where you're like, oh, open the windows type of days, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
You gonna put AC in yours?
What do we need AC for?
Just open the windows.
Just open the windows. No, your
attic fan.
Your guy, I think, is going to help me with it.
Clifford?
Cliff HVAC on my phone.
Yep, that's how he is in mine too.
We really haven't got a price, I don't think, but he seems to be amiable to me actually helping install everything. And I kind of feel like that's because I want to do it. I'm half tempted to do it myself, except for the calculations and everything. So, and he kind of was like, I'll do either one. If you want a calculator, if you want me to come down and help you design it, and then you spend more time working on installing ducts than I do, or whatever, so hopefully that works out. I'm doing a truss floor. So in the new house, my basement ceiling will be basically completely clean, like flat, almost 9-foot ceiling in the basement. So,
are you building the truss, or are you buying them?
Buying them, yeah. I think they're 14-inch tall 2x4 trusses. So on 19-inch centers, or 19, whatever the 19 and 5/16 or whatever center.
Yeah.
Something like that. So they're going to be pretty substantial.
That'll be nice. I like that.
Okay, let me run something by you guys.
Are you staying with 3/4-inch plywood, or are you going to go up to, are you going to up your plywood at 19?
I can do 3/4 at 19. Yeah. I think that at 2 foot, you need to go up to 7/8 plywood. You don't actually have to go up to 7/8. And then the kind of interesting thing about 2x4 on 2-foot center, they might actually be 2-foot center. But when you're doing a 2x4 flatways, and a 2x4 flatways at 24, your span is only 20 inches, 20 and a quarter or something like that. So your span it's not a true 24-inch center span, even at a 24-inch center truss.
Mm.
So I don't even remember. I'd have to look back through the truss quote to see what they're doing. But I'm doing them on 20 foot spans. And if you want to do conventional lumber on 20-foot spans, you need to do 2x12s on 12-inch centers. You get into a heck of a lot of substantial lumber, and your trusses start to become actually cheaper than doing that at that point.
Will the bottom of the truss sit on top of the foundation, or the top of the truss sit on the top of the foundation?
Bottom of the truss, top of foundation, yeah. And on the second floor, there's a girder truss in the floor. So instead of having a header sitting under, if I'm understanding it right, instead of having a header sitting under a 40-foot truss, you have two 20-foot trusses hitting a girder truss that goes through. So even on the first floor, it's all flat ceilings throughout. So, I mean, I've never built. I mean, I've built with truss floors and truss roofs. I've never built one for myself. I was only the framer on truss stuff previously, and yeah,
It sure makes it easy to run all your electrical, plumbing,
Oh, man.
HVAC.
Should be-
Interior walls.
should be super easy. Yeah. And then if I end up doing, I'm kind of planning on doing double 2x4 exterior walls. So the exterior wall is 2x4, and then instead of going 2x6 or 2x8 walls for denser insulation, just do 2x4 walls, and then I can lay out everything on the inside. And since I'll have space, there's no cost difference in leaving them an inch farther apart. You know, like if you have them tight or if you have them an inch apart, there's no difference. So you can run all your wires in the chase between the two walls, and you really don't even have to like drill tons of holes and stuff in it. And you can run all of your wires on the floor and then up to your item instead of running it like 24 inches off the front floor and then down to your deal. Like it should make the building process pretty easy in certain ways. And like if I want to put a water line on an outside wall, I'll just do it. I mean, when you've got 6 inches of insulation on the other side of a pipe, like the main one is like for your stove or something like that, where you want to have a water line for your pot filler. And then the one thing that I kind of want to do, but I think I'm going to have to do after the fact, is I want to have directly under our room. I think I'm going to put my office directly under our bedroom instead of out in the main area, and then put walls around my office and have a stair ladder that goes from our bedroom down into my office, right? And so we can have like a little secondary bedroom speakeasy down in the basement under the
I like it.
Under the bedroom. Would that be kind of cool? Like that's a little weird, but
it is weird, but it's cool.
Will that be the only entrance into it, or will you do like a hidden door from the basement into it too?
So when you guys come to help me move this safe out of this house and into that house, we have to have a door in the basement of some kind to get the safe into the safe room. Mm-hmm. So there has to be some kind of door down there, but it'll probably be a door that's in like our storage area at the back of the utility area. Yeah. So I don't know how secret it will be per se, because it's going to be really obvious that there's like a 16 by 16 non-accessible, and I may want to be able to go to the utility or storage through that room or something like that. But there's not going to be there won't be a window outside the house looking window in that particular room. It's going to be like a closed in room. And then I figure I would want to be able to take a couch and desk and stuff like that down in there. So, yeah. Anyway, that's my plan at this point.
Where's the bar going to be? Is it going to be in the office?
The bar? Oh, probably be in the office. Yeah, most likely. Okay. I don't know. It might be out in the main part of the house. I got to get moved over there before I start worrying too much about drinking again. I worked on Monday. I got to my job at. You do some painting, Jimmy, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got to. So I think I told you this. I bought one of those long rollers, like the 18-inch wide rollers. First one I've ever used. Those things are pretty awesome. Like,
I haven't ever used them.
dude, if you're doing any kind of production and you don't want to get out a sprayer and tape everything off, they're literally like, it's no different than working a 9-inch roller. You're just doing twice as much work at the same time. They honestly ought to make like
Great for commercial work.
They ought to do like a 24-inch version of it.
Dang.
Like it's not that much heavier, and it has support on both sides. So like, your normal roller, like you're like, if I got this thing much longer, I wouldn't be able to get even pressure on both sides of the roller. It does not care. And the little adjustment thing will go in to do a regular size or a big roller. So you don't even need multiple roller frames.
I mean, even if you only want to use a 12-inch roller,
they're 9. They're not even 12.
Or a 9-inch roller, having a double-armed roller seems like a way better product.
It's a way better
than the single, like.
How does it affect, like, when you're, with a one-sided roller, you can get real tight in a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't care, because when I cut in, I carry a 4-inch weenie roller with like a 3/4 nap roller.
Oh, you cut in with a roller?
I cut in, not. What I do is I take a weenie roller and I'm carrying it along with my roller, and I'm cutting in the vertical corners, the inside corners where I can have both sides, because those little the Purdy, like the wide barrel weenie rollers, have stuff on the end,
right,
where big rollers don't have stuff on the end. So I'm cutting in those verticals with that, and sometimes, not all the time, but I'll just lay down a big old glop of paint up by my ceiling, and then when I load up my brush and cut in, it never hits a dry spot as I'm cutting in with my brush.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a hassle to be carting around that 4-inch roller, but I don't think I could keep up with a real painter if I was just cutting in with a brush.
Yeah.
Like I think using that little weenie roller speeds up my cut in pretty dramatically, because you can just run 5 or 6 feet of weenie roller within like that far of your corner on the ceiling. And then when you get your brush loaded up, you just never hit that. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as you hit dry and your brush loses the loading, it just feels different and doesn't act how you want it to. So Monday I got to the job. It's only 1,000-foot build, 1,000-foot house, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, living room, dining room, laundry room. I painted from 8 in the morning to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Did you 2-coat it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long day.
That's a long
Monday. Day. Or I got back here and I had my rollers cleaned at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, you clean them things? I'd just throw them in the trash.
Those 18 inches are $20 a roller. I couldn't get it. I couldn't do it.
How much time you spend cleaning it?
Probably 20 minutes. Yeah, it's a lot.
How much is your time worth?
At 2 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. Not much.
No.
I should be sleeping, right? I mean, yeah, no, you're not wrong, except that I just was like,
yeah.
I was already cleaning out the tray. I was already cleaning out, because the tray is not a disposable tray for a 20-inch deal. So I'm already cleaning out the tray. I'm already cleaning out my brush. I'm cleaning off the frame. It's like the other thing is
trash.
The frame and everything.
Yeah. No, I don't throw the frame away, but I throw the roller, the pan, the brush.
Brush?
Throw it away.
What kind of brushes do you buy?
I buy them in bulk. I don't know what they are. They work really well, and then they go in the trash really well.
I'd like to see that, because I buy like $25 Purdy.
Nah, brushes. These are like $5 brushes.
I've had brushes for years, and so you're gonna think this is crazy. I will clean out a brush 2 or 3 times in a day.
Dang.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last brush I cleaned out.
No, I'll clean out a brush 2 or 3 times a day because there's like initially not loaded right, and then for a long time it's loaded really good, and then
right,
it gets to like if this is the brush bristles, it gets like to here, and again it starts acting weird,
and you throw it in the trash.
I suppose if you were going to just throw it away, that'd be one thing. I'd like to see these brushes because I buy pretty nice brushes.
I will be painting tomorrow, and I'll
send me a photo.
Yeah.
Do a YouTube video.
A YouTube video of
Dude, I have YouTube videos dropping every day this week.
Oh yeah.
Because I finally just sat down on Saturday or Sunday and just they're not super high effort. They're just a whole backlog of stuff I filmed, and I just edited it down. One of them, my most recent one sucks balls. It doesn't have any. But I got one that's a 15-minute video with 407 views.
Nice.
I mean, I know that's not great, but it's got 20 hours. It's got 20 hours of watch time right now. So I mean,
gaining some traction.
I got two subs off of it. That's kind of cool. And I got another one that has 125. But yeah, I don't know. That's a lot of painting for me. I think I rolled. So Saturday I painted Saturday I painted all of the doors and trim, but that was with the airless sprayer. You ever use an airless sprayer or anything like that, Jimmy?
I don't. I just have Ben do that.
Oh, okay. So that is like a mess, but you just knock the crud out of the house.
But I don't. I just hire it.
So I painted all the trim Saturday, went back on Sunday and pulled the tape just to not have the tape peeling off paint. And then Monday painted the entire thing. I don't do a true 2-coat paint process. I do a really, really thorough cut in and a heavy painting. And then I do what do you call it? It's like a wet back roll.
Yeah.
So like it gets pretty dry.
Yep.
And then
go back over it.
You just reload up and go back over it. And then when you go to retouch up the cut in, you don't have to cut it in like you don't have to tape it off or anything like that. I've been using Sherwin-Williams Emerald.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I like how it flows. And then I'm also using Sherwin-Williams Pro Classic on the trim. And the Emerald, I'm getting it through a paint contractor friend who gets it for $35 a gallon, which is like 45's probably 40, almost 50% off.
Yeah.
Because like I've heard people saying that they were paying like $75 for that, and it's like $36.50 or something through.
Yeah, that's a pretty good price for Emerald.
Yeah. And so at that point, I'm like, well, the customer can't go buy Bayer paint for cheaper than that and provide it to me. So I might as well just charge them for good paint and use it.
It's so much easier to work with.
I don't even understand why, but it is. It's easier to work with. It has a pretty decent coat, but I also pre-prime I did on this one. I pre-primed the PVA drywall primer to the paint color. So other than where I oversprayed, you'd have never hardly known if I'd only put one coat on the whole thing. except for on the cut in where you overspray the white trim.
Yeah.
And then there's white under it. So
fun.
Yeah.
That's a lot of painting. I'm painting tomorrow. I'm painting, I don't know, maybe, I haven't looked at the room yet, but it's probably like 10 by 12, 9-foot walls.
Yeah, I think it was 9 gallons of paint.
Dang.
Rolled. You can spray 9 gallons of paint fast, but rolling, even with a big old roller, that's a lot of paint rolling. And the other thing is I taped off everything. So I taped off all the windows, all the trim. It was a lot.
I was just about to say the last time I had a late night painting session
was with me.
Well,
at your house.
Both of the last times. Then I remembered that at my house there was some late nights, but the time before that, it started out late and then continued late. I was laying in bed, and it was like, I don't know, 10:30 at night, and Dan calls me and says, "Hey, you said you're gonna be off next week. Paul doesn't have work for you, right?" I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, do you want to go to Iowa with me and paint a church?" And I was like, sure. Okay.
Did Heath go with us that time, or was that a different one?
I think he may have. I was like, when are you going to go? He's like, I'm probably going to leave my house in about 20 minutes.
Dude.
We're going to leave Kansas City at midnight and drive to the middle of Iowa.
Yeah. And I don't remember if it was on that drive, but on one of the drives up on that project, because I think I went up multiple times, it was like a freaking blizzard. Was it a blizzard that time?
No,
okay.
There was snow already, though. There was snow on the ground, but it wasn't.
Okay.
I don't think it was snowing when we were going up there. I don't think so.
No, I mean, like, it was the weather outside was brutally cold. And I just remember driving across what seemed like a tundra, like a desolate tundra.
It was like that.
Didn't we sleep in the church? Didn't we just take sleeping bags or something? Or did we go over to John's house?
We slept at the church.
We basically just worked like 20 hours a day and slept. Scraped popcorn ceilings.
We went over to John's house
touched up once. Painted. Yeah, for a meal or something.
Yeah, and everything else, people just brought food to the church.
Yeah, it was nuts. And and here's the crazy thing. So we went to, not crazy thing, we went to John's funeral. That was who got us to go up there and do that. Mm-hmm. And they've built a whole nother sanctuary. We did all of that to the sanctuary and all those classrooms. And since then, so when COVID hit, they were starting to kind of prep for, building the building. Yeah. And I think maybe they got the frame of the steel building up right before COVID hit. And then a bunch of the dudes were like, hey, since we're all locked in and we can't go to work and we can't be around people, let's all get together at the church and just knock that thing out. And they like all the dudes in their church just like went to the church every day together and cranked out finishing the sanctuary in that thing.
Nice.
For like 3 months. So
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't be around people, you might as well be around people,
That's right. That's what I did.
That's what I always say.
I mean, do you always say that?
Yes.
I've heard him say it so many times.
Makes sense. I mean,
It does.
I mean, just think about it.
Don't think too hard about it.
Just think about it. Have you ever? Do you know anybody who does that? I know Darcy's dad is a. Well, that's nothing. But there's like I mean, just think about it. But it's always something asininely stupid that doesn't make
really
sense.
Need to think about.
Yeah.
And if you did too hard, it wouldn't make any more sense. I mean, the whole reason Trump is firing all of these park rangers is so nobody will be there to see that they're clear cutting it. Just think about it.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
I mean, they're firing them so that the parks are poorly run, so that they can be like, the parks are poorly run. Let's get rid of all the national parks. Just think about it.
Oh man, I feel basically the same.
No, just think about it.
People who say over and over in a conversation, right?
Right?
Right.
I know, right?
Like,
right?
Whenever I'm talking to somebody, and at the end of every sentence, they're like, right? I can't like it.
I like when people say, let me be honest with you. Let me be honest with you. Like,
I like it when pastors do that. Like 2/3 of the way through their sermon, they start doing it, and you're like, wait a minute. What they mean is, with all due respect, sir, you need to grow some balls.
Yeah.
That wasn't respectful at all. Or what was the Ricky Bobby? What was the Ricky Bobby phrase? Wasn't that basically it?
Oh man, I don't know.
You can't just say, Ricky. You can't just say anything you want after you say "with all due respect." It just that doesn't. Yeah, it does. So this isn't very funny, but I'll give you the scenario. You tell me what you do in my shoes. Okay. Neighbor calls you that you don't know the neighbor at all. Let's say that you have an Airbnb out in the country, and the neighbor calls you, who you don't know at all, and is like,
neighbor
"Hey,
of the Airbnb."
Mm-hmm. Neighbor of the Airbnb, never met him. She's like, "Hey, I saw that your Airbnb isn't rented for Friday and Saturday, Friday night, Saturday night. I have family coming in this weekend, and I was wondering if we could like work something out. They just need a place to stay for like the 2 nights. They're not even going to be there very much, kind of thing, right?" And then you're like, "Oh yeah, well, let me look on the calendar." And I really don't like cleaning same day, because you never know you're 20 minutes from everything. You never know what you're going to walk into. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, yeah, they're, keep in mind, she doesn't know me, so she's not like telling me her whole life story at the time. And she's like, yeah, my son just unexpectedly died, and we got a whole bunch of family coming in for the funeral this weekend. I do have guests coming in on Sunday. What do you do?
They want to use it when?
Friday night, Saturday night, and then I have guests coming in on Sunday.
At what time is check-in?
4:00. I tried to call them and ask them when they thought they were going to show up, but they didn't answer the phone. I left them a message.
She mentioned she wanted to work out a deal. Does that mean she doesn't want to pay for it?
I mean, I think she was hoping to not pay the full. It's kind of not something. It's not like a family vacation she planned, know.
That's tricky. What would the normal fee for that time frame be?
Anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,500-$1,600. I mean, it costs like $185 to get it cleaned after somebody's been in it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Have you made a decision?
Yeah, I already told her what I'd do. Let me ask you this: do you want? This is just like a personal thing of mine. She doesn't know me, so she doesn't know how much she took advantage of me. I do not want one of my kids to die before me. Like, period. Like, I don't think I can think of anything else that like makes me feel
that she could, like, anything else she could have said that you would have been like, oh.
I mean, I don't care if she's 90 and her son died unexpectedly. Like, if you were one of my kids and you're like, Dad, I got this rare disease and I'm going to die next month, I'd be like, well, I hope I die first.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get checked for rare diseases too, right now.
What about if you just, like, maimed your child for life? What about something like that? Would that be better?
I think I would feel bad about that, but I don't think I would feel like if I killed my kid, that would be worse than them just randomly dying. But yeah, but I mean, like, yeah.
I thought I maimed my kid for life just the other day. I didn't know. That's a bummer.
Did she say, Dad, I forgive you, and that made you hurt even worse?
Dude, we full on were sitting in the hospital room waiting to figure out what's going on, and she said, Dad, I'm guessing you feel pretty bad. And I was like,
a little.
I said, yeah. She said, your face looks like you feel pretty bad. Do you feel pretty bad? I said, well, I probably feel like, let's say, this is what I said to her. I said, let's say you were at your friend's house and you guys were just kind of playing baseball in the side yard. And you decided you were going to hit a home run on this pitch. And so you swung with all your might, and you didn't realize that little Matthew, little cerebral palsy kid, walked into your swing and you cracked him right in the head with the bat. I said, that's probably, you'd probably feel, if that happened,
pretty bad.
I feel.
But she may not know how that feels yet.
And she said, Matthew can't walk.
That's pretty funny. He got that little walking chair thing.
You're like, no, I don't feel bad. You deserve this.
Did you say, Ryan, we don't know if you're going to be able to walk?
Yeah, I feel pretty bad. And she said, it's okay, Dad. It's okay.
Oh, that's funny. So what'd you do, Dan?
Here, just a second. I got to text my daughter back.
I mean, it sounds like you went ahead and let her use the space at a discounted rate.
I think you're onto something there.
How many people will be staying in this?
Two or three bedrooms. It's either 2 or 3 couples. And they're not planning on using the facilities per se. Like, they're not needing a kitchen or anything because they're going to be eating all their meals with family and stuff. So,
what if they decide that, wow, this house is going to be way better for the family gatherings than our house. Let's just all go over there.
That'd be a bummer because I've got to get it cleaned before guests come in on Sunday.
Next thing you know, you pull up the camera. Do you have cameras out there?
Yeah.
You pull up the camera. There's like 75 cars in the driveway.
And a backhoe.
And a backhoe.
They're gonna go ahead and bury him out by the lake.
It's the ancestral burial ground.
We found a beautiful spot.
The thing is, like, here's the thing. Here's one of the things. Somebody says my son died unexpectedly, and you pretty much know 90% probability what happened. Like,
yeah.
Because if your son, like, died of cancer, you'd say your son died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
If your son was in a car accident, you'd say my son just died in a car accident. Unexpectedly is like code, in my opinion. What?
OD'd.
OD'd or on purpose. One of the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like those are like himself. He did something that, like, I don't know if you follow the Darcy, if you know the family of some folks that were down at camp for a couple of years, and they're related to since are we live? I don't know. Are we even live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're related to
people recording yet, but we will soon.
Okay. They're related to people that we know from Nebraska and northeast Kansas.
Okay. Yeah.
Who also worked at camp.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And they have a son who passed away unexpectedly. And the public statement that they made about him was he was having some troubles, and he, in the process of trying to get healing from blah 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 blah, he accidentally unalived himself, basically. And you're just like, do you know what I'm talking about? The situation I'm talking about?
I kind of knew that, but when?
Like within the last year.
Years ago?
No, within the last year.
No, I don't.
I
knew that then.
He was one of the adopted kids.
Yeah.
But he's like in his mid-20s now. And you they made it sound like, if you didn't know anything about it, you're like, they made it sound like, I mean, just think about it. Like, he was trying to recover and he didn't. It's like,
so let me think.
They didn't want to just say he committed suicide, and they kept him alive for a little while in the hospital, and then he was brain dead and he passed. They made it sound like it was something he was trying to do for recovery. It was so weird, and it's like,
man, he struggled for a long time.
And in the process of trying to recover, he didn't recover.
He almost made it.
And it's
Yeah, I
like,
don't think that that's a conventional style of trying to recover.
right, not being alive anymore isn't typically a recovery
Yeah.
method or
I
technique
mean, you could get there, I guess, with the proper, with the, you know,
with proper technique.
yeah, reasoning techniques.
Yeah, maybe.
I read a book and it said the day of your death is better than the day of your birth.
Yeah, that's Ecclesiastes. We're going through that in Sunday school, and I'll tell you what, Ecclesiastes is one of the most confusing things for people. It's hard. It's hard for people to imagine that the Bible has inspired words that are cynical, jaded, and
Mm.
facetious. Like
Like reading the Book of Mormon.
they can't, like, it's like, no, this is the Bible. It's like what it says is very straightforward and very, and it's like, no, not really, because like we were reading a passage, and the person who was doing the creating the study, and it was like, read this passage and answer this question, read this, and it was going down through it, and it's like, no, this entire section is sectioned off as a chapter because they decided that this was a complete thought. This whole thing was a complete thought. And if you read the beginning of this chapter, I forget, 7 or 9, something like that, and you don't get to the end, it's a completely different thought. Because like I think it's Ecclesiastes 7 says that basically it says that I've seen wise people and I've seen dumb people, I've seen righteous people and unrighteous people, and all the same thing happens to both of them. They all die.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, so I concluded that the only thing that you can do is, eat and drink and be merry and enjoy these few days that you toil on the earth. And you're like, okay, I mean, there's a certain logic and sense to that. Like, and other places, don't be too wise and don't be too foolish. And then at the end of the passage, it's like, but it is better to be wise than to be foolish. And you're like, oh wait, I thought you said since everybody just dies, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to have a Bible study over something like that, because people just take whichever part of the flow that they happen to be in at the moment. They're like, yep, see,
right,
that's the truth.
It's what the Bible says.
It's what the Bible says. So I mean, I don't know. You have a different take on it than that? I got my opinions about these things.
You have opinions about things?
Mm-hmm. Huh. I mean, like, I think that there's other things in the Psalms and the Proverbs that, like, really would I conclude that they're basically saying, like, when it says don't be too righteous and don't be too sinful, I think that it is some of those times when that's said, because it's said numerous times, is like a warning against being so righteous that you don't act shrewdly. Like being so black and white about the way you see things that you won't hold a couple cards back and not show your hand. Does that make sense? Like, it's not lying to not show all your cards. It's just part of the game. Like,
mm-hmm. Yep. I think you're onto something.
So what did I do, Jimmy?
I think you gave her the room, the place for like $500.
That would have been smart.
You just said, yeah, just take it.
Yeah, I did. I'm going to go clean it on Sunday instead of going to church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she say we'll make sure and be out early on Sunday?
Yeah, I told her they need to be out so I have the day to clean it, even though I didn't tell her when the check-in was. I just said there was a guest coming.
They will leave it extremely clean.
Yeah. She cried, but I imagine she's crying about everything right now. So
I would guess.
Do you know how old of a feller this guy was?
I don't. I don't know if he's one of them that would come over and fish, and I'd be like, "Hey, teenage guys, here's my phone number. You need to call me before you come over here and fish." Or if he was older, there's both of those. I don't even know which person I was talking to as far as the generations of people that live over there. So it could be somebody my age, or it could be somebody in his early 20s, I think. Either one. Based on what I know of the age of different family members that are over there.
So you potentially have met this dude and have his number in your phone?
Potentially. It's possible. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know them. I just know that I have driven down my own driveway before I put the gate in, gotten down there and been like, what's going on? Guys,
You're fishing. What are you doing here?
I own this place. And I was like, hey, you can call me. I don't care if you fish out here, but you got to call me because there's guests and you can't just show up here whenever you feel like it. And then I'd show up later and I'm like, okay, I guess I just got to get a gate, guys. So
that happened to Jeremy at his place soon after he bought it.
Yeah. People just drive back to his pond back
around on the property, and there were some dudes fishing, and we rolled over there. And Jeremy's like, "What's up, guys?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're just fishing." Jeremy's like, "Oh yeah, you have permission to be out here?" "Oh yeah. The owner said we could fish here." He's like, "Really?" They're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I own the place, and I don't remember giving you permission." They're like, "Oh, well, no, I mean." Yeah, the previous owners, I guess. They said we could fish here whenever we want. He's like, well, they don't own this place anymore.
They hadn't even lived there in a while, right?
No, it's been a couple years.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's the thing. Like when a property doesn't have anybody at it for a couple years, and I think mine was the same way. It like if you got permission from the old lady before she went to the nursing home. I mean, right. I know that when we hunted across the road, the old, what was that dude's name? The guy who gave us permission, when we were younger, we would be across the road from my folks. We'd be like, we'd ask him for permission to hunt every time until we were like, do you care if we hunt deer this year? Oh yeah, that's fine. We'd stand around and talk and whatever. Do you mind if we hunt turkey? Like we'd ask them before each season. Well, like 2 years in, we came over and we're like, do you care if we dove hunt out here? Like we'd probably have to be up a little closer to the house. Like we'd be up on the fields that are a little closer to the house. And he was getting kind of senile. He's like, oh yeah, if you see any dogs out there while you're hunting, you just shoot them. Well, like, so like dove hunting would be fun. Like I said, I think those dogs, I see them running all over the place out there, and I think they're just wild dogs. Whatever you're hunting out here, you see dogs, you just shoot them. and we were walking away from that because we kind of got, yeah, we're like, all right. Oh, hey, look at that. Dad was like, I don't think we need to ask for permission to hunt anymore. I think we can hunt whatever we want to hunt. I mean, we'd still go talk to him, but like, yeah. Once somebody's given you permission to hunt dogs on their property, they don't think they care.
I tell you guys, somebody contacted Lou about hunting on his property.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And he let him?
No, so some guy that supposedly hunted there when he was a kid with his dad.
Yeah.
His dad, so this guy and his brother and their dad would hunt that land like, 40 years ago or whatever. And their dad died, and they just have a lot of good memories on that land. And so this dude gets a hold of Lou and tells him this big story about how they used to go hunting with their dad out there, and they just really love to, go back out there and hunt. And Lou was like, well, I mean, I've already got some guys that, deer hunt out there. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm not trying to push in on anybody, but if the opportunity ever comes up, I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know. So as of now, Lou said no. He's like, I felt a little bit bad because he kind of had a good story, but
my son just died.
My son just died
unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly.
No, I think she was telling me the truth. I don't know. It's a pretty crazy thing.
That'd be a pretty mean trick to play on somebody.
Yeah. That's
the kind of stuff that sends you straight to hell.
I hope so.
It does. Is that in Ecclesiastes too?
That's definitely for sure in Ecclesiastes. Absolutely. Oh. All right, you're not.
Oh man,
dude, we got this
2 hours in, boys.
Well, I'm only an hour and 10 minutes in at this point. So I'm still fresh, boys. I've got this cat. I cannot figure out. I want to make a video. I can't figure out how to show how freaking fat she is. She has she's pregnant, and she has like a mini basketball, not like a full size basketball, like a mini basketball size belly. And if I grab her belly, I can feel the kittens like moving around in there,
wriggling around.
And when she walks, she's like boom, 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 like waddling. And I don't think she can lick her butt to clean herself very well right now because she's so fat. And
I've been there.
Yeah. Me too. But it's more rare for a cat. I mean, she's so fat. The boys don't want to pick her up. The boys literally are like, she'll be like, hey, pick up that cat and put it outside because it doesn't live in here, but it's been coming in. And we're kind of like going to let her get in the house whenever she goes to have her kittens. If she's in, we'll make her a place and she can have her kittens in here again. They're like, yeah. Her nipples are getting big. I don't want to touch her.
That's funny.
And they are, but like both of them have said it separately to Sarah. Ugh, I don't want to touch her. Have you seen her nipples?
They're called teats on it.
You can, of course you can, fucker. You can milk anything with nipples.
That's right.
Yep.
Mm.
Can you milk me?
Yeah. We did rewatch that a few months back.
It's a good one.
We started to watch the second one, and it was just like it went to a whole nother level. The second one did. when they met. Meet the Parents was the first one, and then Meet the Fockers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it just took the whole joke to like an extreme that was just it wasn't like lowbrow. It was like gutter humor by the second one. His mom's like a sex therapist or something like that. Like they just added in too many twists that don't make any sense. So we didn't even watch it. I don't know if we've ever watched the second one or the third one.
There's a third one?
Yeah, there's
the third one.
There's Meet the Parents, there's Meet the Fockers, and there's Little Fockers.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen either of the second two. We started to watch the second one. I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen Zoolander 2, and Zoolander was one of my favorite movies, like, when I was like 12 or whatever. You ever watch Zoolander? You've seen it? No?
Oh, heck yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
But I don't think it was when you were 12.
Like it didn't come out? Oh, yeah, we probably wouldn't have been allowed to watch it when I was 12.
Like 20.
Maybe.
(2001).
So 19, 20, somewhere in there. Yeah. Yep. So you guys wrapping it up for the night?
I'd be all right with it.
Okay. You gonna do a check-in on your channel? I already told you my check-in. I got 2 followers. I've got a video posting the next 2 or 3 days.
Let me see if I have any new followers.
And I currently have... Shoot, where is this thing? That one has over 400 views. 106 followers. So I've gained 3 in the last couple days. I've got 29 watch hours in the last 28 days. So that's not bad. Because, like... Wait. That's not good. Because that would only get me to 360 watch hours in a year. I've got 178 public watch hours in the last 3,000 days. Or wait, out of 3,000 that are needed. So, I'll tell you something though. Something I did learn already that I think here's a theory that I have. There are a lot of things that you can be told. And you can be taught them 9 ways from Sunday. And until you experience it, like you do the right thing and you do the wrong thing, even if it's just on a little bit of a level, you can't learn it. Like it's not possible. Like the doing of the thing reinforces what you knew in your head. Does that make sense? But it doesn't.
Got a lot of comments on this live stream.
We do?
Spammed?
Trevor Mock?
What's he saying?
A lot of things.
A lot of things. We should have. Who's watching our live stream comments? Darcy? What are you doing?
Darcy's not watching them, that's for sure.
Stolen Valor? Is that what he's calling it? Wow.
Yeah.
What the heck?
What?
He's commenting everything. Dang.
Yeah, he's really blowing it up.
Trevor was 12 when Zoolander came out.
He's playing a game and he's just commenting on everything.
Yeah, everything.
I can't even see the live stream. That's funny. Is Stolen Valor because he was 12 when it came out, not me?
No, that was like the first comment.
What was the Stolen Valor about?
I don't know.
Trying to remember. What did we say? Did we say we were in the military?
Too bad we weren't watching it when he was commenting.
The pie story.
Dude, have you ever seen that video where the dude, like, he's clearly a mentally, like, not 100% there guy, and he's dressed as a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout.
I've heard a pastor tell that story, he says.
He's dressed as a Boy Scout, and he's like, and the person is doing a stolen valor on this poor guy, and the guy's like telling him what troop he's from and everything, and he's like, your sash is supposed to be under, don't you know that your sash is supposed to be under your, like, the little shoulder button thing, like, all this stuff, and you're just like, dude, just come on, like, don't be like that. You're a terrible person for pulling stolen valor on this handicapped guy
on a boy
who thinks he's a Boy Scout. Like,
it was probably Ed Bassmaster.
My goodness, I know the guy looked kind of normal, but then when you started talking, you're like, I don't know if that dude was normal. Yeah.
I don't know if Trevor's normal.
I gotta look at this. I'll go look at the comment stream after we're off. So what was yours? I've already forgotten. We got talking about Trevor.
Yeah, I was looking up to see how many new subscribers I had, and I still only have 3.
Oh, you have 3? You only had 2 last time, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I no views yet, none.
You don't have any videos up yet.
Oh, that might be why.
You still haven't done that part.
That's how you get views?
Yeah, you need videos. Yeah, just going and commenting on everybody else's things and being like, attaboy, good job, to try to get followers. If you don't have any videos, nobody's following you, and they're not. Like,
I have wasting... no videos and 3 followers.
I'm going to unfollow you so you only have 2 again if you don't put up a video.
I'm going to try to do one. Darcy suggested I do a paint video tomorrow. I'm going to try that.
Steal a clip of this. You could do like a reaction video to this podcast. Okay, so what I was going to say, though, is this. So I started to say it, nice. And I didn't quite finish. So there are certain things that you might label your video that they're just not going to get any views. Like not no views, but like one of my videos is labeled the high cost of high efficiency. Okay, I'm not saying that's a great title, but like you do have to like think about it for a second.
Yeah. It's like saving a paintbrush versus throwing it away.
Yeah, but it's like you're like, what's he?
Wait, no, okay, no.
No, it's not like that, dude. Do a video like that. I'll do a video tomorrow. I'll do a video tomorrow on buying good paintbrushes. I'll do a short on buying good paintbrushes and the value of buying good paintbrushes, and you can do a reaction video to it of how stupid it is to buy good paintbrushes when you can buy a cheap brush that works just fine and then never spend any time washing it and throw it away. That'd be a perfect video for you to react to.
So when you save a brush, you wrap it up, throw it in your truck, drive it home, clean it when you get home, or do you like clean it on the job site? How do you do that?
I'll do both.
Yeah.
So like if you take a paintbrush that doesn't have any crusty stuff dried in it, because mine never have any crusty stuff dried in them. And especially like if you're doing wall paint and you're like eggshell paint just doesn't dry the same as like an enamel into the brush, right? If you take that thing and you just dunk it completely in a 5-gallon bucket with like 3.5 gallons of water, and you just shake it around in there vigorously, it's going to neutralize the by the time you're done just shaking it around in there, there's going to be exactly the same amount of paint diluted into all of the water in that bucket. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So like
that's how solutions work. Yeah,
that's how solutions work. So it takes, if you have a lot of water, it takes almost no time to rinse a brush out, because that paint gets like, whereas if you're like running it under a sink and there's only a little bit of water even there touching your brush, it takes a long time to clean a brush out. So I'll do that, and then I'll just throw it in like throw a wet rag around it and clean it out like thoroughly, probably when I get home. But even that, if you're not using an enamel, if you're just using like an eggshell or a flat paint, that brush, in 4 gallons of water, that brush is like it's almost completely clean, and it didn't take hardly anything to clean that.
Yeah.
Now I'm not using a lot of like oil-based paints or lacquer-based paints or anything like that.
I used to do that. I used to buy nice, pretty brushes and clean them out every time.
But now you just do like a landlord special types of work, and so you just do landlord special kind of tools. You ever maybe you should make some of those videos where you're like, don't scrape the paint off, you just put a bunch of caulk and just like smear it in and then paint it on the next brush. Have you seen those? You're just like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to see that. It's just, you're a terrible person for even making up a video like that.
No, I mean, these are quality brushes.
Subscribers and views they have.
A lot. A lot. I did. No. Okay, so a video that's the cost of high efficiency is, and then the description that I put in it describes the different types of insulation you can do for high efficiency, and tells that I'm talking about the fact that there are some kinds of insulation that, even as good as they are, you're never getting your money back off of them. Like spray foam is one of those things that, like, it's good for what it's good for, but at the end of the day, if you just spray foamed your whole house because I want the best efficiency, you're never getting that money back. I'm sorry. It's, in our climate, it's too expensive per square foot, and when you figure that against your heating and cooling bill, it's not going to work out. Like, it's not going to math. It's going to work fine. It's just not going to math, right?
Aren't there other advantages to spray foaming, not more than just efficiency?
What's the point of spray foam if not efficiency? Tell me that.
It makes for some real sturdy feeling walls. It locks everything together.
It doesn't, though. Like, if you have let's say you have a 2x4 framed wall, okay, and you spray foam in it, and that wall is, let's say, because your framing lumber just got delivered or whatever, your wall is at 30% moisture content, and then you live in the house a while, and that thing drops to 20%, and those boards shrink 1/8 of an inch. Pop, right at the edge of half of those boards, there's a gap. No longer filled. It doesn't happen every time, but it does happen more often than people realize. Yeah, so you spray the foam in, and you spend, like, on a 2,000-foot house, you spend $20,000 on your spray foam, right? And your house is 2% more efficient than a dense packed cellulose house that they spent $6,000 on. That's a lot of money for a 2% efficiency gain over the cellulose.
What about spraying the ceiling in your attic so that your attic is a conditioned space?
Yeah, I mean, there are arguably reasons to do it. It's a product that has good applications for sure. Gabe's house, for instance, his attic isn't insulated with cellulose. It's just insulated on the roof line. So the attic is completely free of any debris or anything, and all the ductwork is run up there, and it's a conditioned space. That's awesome. That's great, and you just conditioned your whole space. But think about this. How many square feet of space are in your attic that you now are conditioning? So now you went from having like, for every 1,000 feet of house, you also have however many square feet of attic to insulate. So like you gained efficiency because you made it all super, but now you have 20% more house to heat and cool. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that like you don't always like these things aren't always well thought through. I don't think, in my opinion. And then the other thing is like, you know what net zero is?
Yeah.
It's like the idea being, Darcy, yeah, kind of. So the idea basically being that your house, when it's built, when it's done, it is zero carbon. Like it's net zero. It costs in carbon nothing to heat or cool your house. Supposedly. But the way that they get to that is they have this whole huge formula like a freaking tax form. And if you get to the end of the formula and you're 20%, say, like you're, however they do all the math, you're like this much insulation, this much space, this efficiency of a ductwork, and this efficiency of this, and high efficiency furnace, and you do all the math on this thing, and if you're short 20%, the way that you make up the difference is you put in a shit ton of solar panels. So you spend an unimaginable amount of money to put in so many solar panels that you can now sell power back to the grid sometimes, maybe, to make up for the power that you're using, and you're still calling it net zero. It costs no energy. Does that say, like, kind of make sense in a mathy kind of way?
I mean, sure.
But what's the problem? All you've done is you've externalized the cost of that energy. You front loaded it all by sending it to a factory in Taiwan or China or somebody, and they take on the burden of the energy cost and loss, etc. And you take the gain and you pay the money. It's like carbon credits, basically, is what it like amounts to. Is like, I have a zero energy house. No, you don't. You have a darn good well insulated house that cost you $100,000 extra or more, and you externalized a bunch of the cost to a foreign country. But like, solar panels are also gonna burn out eventually, and like all of these systems are also gonna die. Like everything that I have talked to HVAC guys about the mini splits, they're like, yeah, the years that it works, your mini splits are absolutely going to be more efficient than your furnace, but they're not going to last 25 or 30 years. So you also have to consider that in the time that you probably likely replaced your entire HVAC system 3 times, your old beater furnace would still have been running, for 20 more years. What's that worth?
What kind of furnace are you going to put in this?
Just like a high
energy efficient home you're building.
A high efficiency gas furnace, propane, and then a wood stove, just for grins.
Piped into the ductwork or no?
I'm hoping that he'll be amenable to putting a return. When I was a kid, we just had a big old return duct right above our stove. And so when our stove burned, gravity pushed the hot air into the return.
Yeah.
And then you can run your furnace fan to circulate all the air in your house. So when you're running your wood stove, you're kind of running your wood stove and you're kind of running your furnace, but it's just the fan that's circulating all the air through your ductwork.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my hope. I don't know if an HVAC guy would take an issue with doing that for like fire hazard reasons. I don't think they would have a problem with it.
Wouldn't think so.
So, yeah. So, last thing I'll say about that. That video has in a day 416 views, which isn't exactly viral. A video that's tinted primer and my unconventional painting techniques has no views in a day.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's kind of views I'm getting.
It has two views. Spring cleaning at our self-managed Airbnbs has 130 views. So like you can know that a title, because like what's the other difference? Like people don't know anything about the video whenever it gets pushed out there. So your title has to like do something to get them to click it. It's not like a short that's just going to come up in their feed and they either skip past it or watch it. And it doesn't matter how many times I've heard from Airbnb or from YouTube people, like your title is really important. I still put up stupid, useless titles on my videos. Until I'm like doing them back to back and I'm like, well, that actually makes sense that one title is more interesting and more clickable than the other one. But anyway.
You got to put like something about Trump on there. That'll get it going.
That might actually. I know I could title the video "What I Learned While Eavesdropping on a Signal Chat." Right? How's that?
There you go.
And then I could just be like, hey, I'm going to be perfectly honest. That was completely clickbait. I have been on a lot of Signal chats and I haven't learned anything yet. But
there you go.
I'm going to keep using it.
Whoever works. Whatever gets those views.
Yep.
They punish you they actually punish you pretty hard if the content of your video doesn't match the title at all. Like, because that's how people used to get all the clicks and get all the pay, was by putting up like titles, but then the content of the video didn't match at all. Are you saying how do you know that they punish you?
Penalize you.
Well, like if you go to let's say I go to that video I was talking about. I'm in it. I go to video performance, and I go to. It's got 19.8 watch hours, 420 views, 2 subscribers off of that one. If I go to reach, it says that for the 30 views that I've gotten, they've shown it to 8,100 people. Like it's been offered to 8,100 people. And so that's a impression click-through rate of 3.6. So if you get a click-through rate that's 3.6%, so mine has a click-through rate of 3.6% with 420 views, and the average view duration is like almost 3 minutes. So if, let's say that I changed the formula and I had like a 30, let's just make it extreme. I had a 30% click-through rate and it's a 15-minute video, but within 2 seconds, everybody's leaving. So like the title and the thumbnail is like getting 3 out of 10 people to click. And as soon as they get in it, they realize this doesn't have anything to do with what the title said, and they move on. That the algorithm says, oh, that is clickbait, and it just drops you like a bad habit and doesn't show you to anybody anymore. Just like it's just automatic. So like they say that holding on long form videos, holding people's attention for 30 seconds is like it's super important. Like if you hold people past 30 seconds, then you don't get that punishing, like we're just not showing it to anybody anymore.
So that's what's happening with our live show.
Probably when a person views it, they
and no one has ever viewed it for longer than 30 seconds except for
right.
Trevor.
We haven't even viewed it for longer than 30. But yeah, and I don't know.
I think Trevor left us. There's no more comments coming in.
I'm sure that the 30-second thing is something that I'm sure that the 30-second thing is something that changes based on, like, it's probably not static, but it's just a way of thinking about it that you go, like, if I say I'm talking about Trump and immediately people know that I'm not going to be talking about Trump and they leave, the AI or whatever, the algorithm has a way of being like, the people who want to click something about this subject are not interested in this video, but they're clicking it, but they're leaving too quickly. There's something off about it, and then it just stops showing it to people.
Weird.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, let's don't do that.
You got to do something. I mean,
think about it.
Just think about it. I mean, think about it.
Sometimes you just got to think about it.
I mean, would you look at that?
Just look at it.
Just look at it. I mean, it's 12. It's the next day already, guys.
Yeah, right?
I never thought it would happen, but it's literally the next day.
Here we are, living in tomorrow.
You could still be painting.
I'd still be painting yesterday. Well, now it'd be yesterday. When we started this, I would still have been painting that day.
Yeah.
I'm going to be painting today.
Yeah, I am probably going to be painting today again too. Unfortunately, I tried to use not to belabor this conversation. I tried, the red, really nice putty. Do you ever use the red putty that's in a toothpaste tube, a metal toothpaste tube?
I have, yeah.
For like fine stuff. I was like, man, I really love this stuff, and I used it on a few really small nail holes, like a few door jambs of really small nail holes. That stuff does not bridge well at all. It does not fill even a 18 gauge trim nail hole. And so I had two doorways that I did in it. Yeah. It's for like fine cracks, tiny little gaps. It's pretty easy to sand. I really like it for what it's for. But I tried to use it on some nail holes, and like half of them, they either had a bubble in them. I don't know. I was like, oh, that didn't work out at all.
I usually just use spackle
for nails.
Yeah.
And then sand it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that on this one. I use that putty that you roll up in a ball. It's almost like plumber's putty a lot of times. But when the nail holes are too small, it doesn't really go in. It doesn't work on them very well. It seems like. So I used Drydex on this one, and it.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that you have to come back second, you have to do a second step to it. Yeah, I like it all right. So, all right.
Our viewer's back.
What's up, Darcy? You commenting to our viewer?
Yeah, I'm trying to make our viewers know that we appreciate.
This thing's getting ready to blow up, guys.
Is he trolling you? Your trolls will never appreciate you, Darcy.
Is he a troll?
Is he a troll? I didn't. Other than the Stolen Valor one, I don't know. Were all of them that harsh?
They're all pretty. Yeah, they're all pretty harsh.
Pretty harsh.
Mm. Although he was making predictions like no charge. I assume that meant how much he thought you were charging the girl.
He thought I would.
The book name. He figured out the book name.
What's the book name?
The Goal by Elliot Goldratt.
The Goal. That's what the name of the book is?
I don't know. That's what he commented. Eliyahu Goldratt.
Customers are always right.
The Goal. Are you there?
Hey, Dan. What's up?
Does the book The Goal have a story about a guy who was in a restaurant and wanted an egg and they wouldn't sell it to him?
Hey, Dan. The Goal by Eliyahu M. Goldratt is mostly about business and manufacturing processes, focusing on the theory of constraints. There's no specific story about someone not getting an egg in a restaurant. It uses a fictional narrative to explain complex business concepts, though. Anything specific you remember from it?
Well, I'm trying to think of a book that has a story, or maybe a blog post that has a story about the author going into a restaurant and wanting an egg, and they didn't want to sell it to him because the egg was part of a special that they had put together for people.
That sounds familiar. It might be an anecdote from a blog or a book discussing customer service or business insights. Could it be something by Seth Godin or another business writer? If we narrow down the context, I might be able to help track it down.
I mean, it seems like a story I've heard more than once. It doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to track down, but I guess you don't know everything, huh?
I wish I did. If you can recall any more details about where you might have heard it, that could help. Stories like that are often used in business or customer service contexts, so it might show up in a few different places. We'll keep an eye out for it.
If you do see it, how will you get a hold of me to tell me that you saw it?
Good point. If you come across any more clues or remember details, feel free to share them. I'm always here to help dig deeper or brainstorm other possibilities.
I get sidetracked on these conversations with him sometimes.
Oh, funny.
All right.
All right.
I don't know. Could you guys hear all that?
Yeah. Trevor,
Okay.
You got anything else to add?
Dum. He's like, I'm done. You guys can sit there in silence and wait for me to not comment. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He said yes.
All right. Well, you know what you should do, Darcy? You should post next week. You should post the pinned comment should be the Riverside link to join.
Trevor already has the link.
Yeah, but what about our other listeners that might want to join?
Oh, those guys.
Like literally, we could be like $1 million prize to the first guest.
Oh.
And then after they join, we'd be like, "Oh, sorry, dude.
Oh, you're
Somebody
the
already
guest.
won that."
Mm-hmm.
But good try.
That'd probably wouldn't come back to bite us at all ever.
No, I'm sure it wouldn't.
Rory was the first.
Right.
We meant the first.
Well, the first ever, not the first tonight, bro. Obviously. How do you think Rory's paying for school? All right.
All
right.
Well, Trevor must be writing a novel on there, or he's just said yes.
Okay.
To make me wait.
Gotcha.
He can comment. I'll come look.
Does it have like live?
You can just
live type on the comment, so you can't tell whether he's typing or not. Okay.
No, you can't.
All right.
Hey, Trevor, thanks for watching or listening or whatever you did. Commenting. Thanks for commenting.
He listened and commented. That's huge.
Yeah, I know. He said single-handedly increased viewership by 100,000 times.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Almost infinitely increased it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. And he just posted, like, maybe
is that a dance?
Smiley ninja emoji or something?
A little dancing emoji thing? I don't know what it is.
That's probably our best comment ever.
Probably.
Oh, it's a dab. It's a
dab.
Oh,
thank you for interpreting. Thank you for interpreting your emoji.
Perfect.
Oh man.
All right. Well, we just wasted 2 hours of Trevor's time.
Oh, I'm sure he was multitasking.
So join us again next week.
In 6 days.
In 6 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The countdown started.
All right.
This is our new Wednesday morning series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll see you here next time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your average jazz show. We're done.
Peace out.
And this is the after show.
This is the after show.
Yeah, this is the YouTube after show.
YouTube after show, because it stays live for what? A couple minutes.
So whatever we want to get in after, we have to.
This is for the really committed viewers.
Trevor. The really committed Trevor.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, I want to say one more thing about YouTube videos. I've been randomly, I think I've shared